How to destroy your life as a man. Get addicted, get distracted. Alex Hormozy explains in one of his videos that it has never been as easy as it is nowadays to succeed. On the flip side, it has never been as easy for men or also for women to get distracted. So you see, the bar is set so low because there's not many people who are willing to remove all that distraction, all that destruction, and all that addiction. If you want to destroy your life as a man, get addicted. Porn is one of them. Porn is in and of itself can ruin your life because it can ruin your life of the person you are with, but it also ruin your own life personally. And you also ruin the way you see women because you objectify them. Because women are just merely an object of desire to fulfill your own selfish pleasure. And porn is a good way to start destroying your life. Another one, drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol are two perfect things to ruin your life. I see this everywhere. I see this on the streets, homeless people. I even see this in my friend. I could see it in their bodies. I could see it in their face. It ruins them. Weed and porn are very similar in the sense that they make you very apathetic. They put you in a state of apathy. So you are not really, you do not wish to fulfill your potential because you are in a state of complacency with your life. That's why weed and porn are so similar in that manner. Obviously, cocaine is a bad, but any other drugs will do well to destroy your life. There are other things like internet scrolling, addiction to the internet. That's one thing I'm studying right now. You could spend hours on end scrolling on the internet, and that can waste a lot of your potential. Now, I'm lucky enough that I do not have this problem. I hate scrolling, so I don't do it. I scroll up one time and it's enough for me. I have another problem, the swiping problem on dating apps. That's another issue I have. To each their own. And you have things that might not seem like an addiction, but really is a distraction. Netflix, YouTube, watching videos for hours on end. That could take a lot of your life. There's food addiction. There's so many ways that you could destroy your life as a man. But the most important thing is what you do to avoid those distractions and those addiction, those weapons of mass distraction. You have to understand that the powers that be, the people in power, would much rather for you to be addicted and distracted than people who are distracted and unconscious do not have the power to question what is happening. Because bread and games, they would be too distracted by those distractions and those addiction to actually do something about what is happening in the country. It makes sense. That's how we are being controlled. You want the mass of people to be distracted and unconscious for you to lead them. Now, this is not a video about politics, but it just makes sense that we, being part of the mass, would fall prey to those distractions and those addictions. But as a man, you have a choice to make. You have the choice to decide whether you want to be distracted and addicted or you want to fulfill something with your life. You want to fulfill your potential. You want to contribute to this world. A man's expression is how he contributes to this world. That's what David did say. A superior man does not put any other priority but his mission, not even a woman. Woman can be his second, his third priority, but his first priority is bringing his vision forth, whatever your vision is. And all of the distraction and those addiction will come in the way of bringing your vision forth. Now, I know that what people might tell me. A lot of people have succeeded in spite of those addictions, the distraction. And it is very true because there's one way to go about, not say addiction, but distraction. You can escape a few hours a day, but you know you are willingly choosing to escape. And that's okay. But if those pleasures that addiction and those distractions are not in moderation. They are in surplus, in excess. That's where it can come in the way of you bringing your vision forth. My point here is all those, because you have to understand that even if they've succeeded with those addictions, we have to see what kind of life they had after those, and if they regretted going through all those, because all those things are not good for you physically and mentally. So you have to see the result of abusing all those substances. But my point is, even though a minority have succeeded because of this addiction, you have to understand the majority of people will not succeed because of their addiction. So that minority just confirms the rule that addiction and distraction will ruin your potential and ruin your vision. And more importantly, even those who have succeeded in spite of those addiction and those distraction, they would have succeeded even more without those distraction and those addiction. And that's all I'm trying to say. We have a, as men, we have a vision to bring forth in this world and contribute it to this world. It's our own creative way to contribute. You have to find what works for you. I'm not saying that to distract yourself moderately is bad. All I'm trying to say is that if you are consistent with all those unwholesome activities, you are being consistent in what is not helping you to achieve things in life. Because you need consistency, but not the unwholesome kind of consistency, the wholesome kind of consistency, whether it's business, whether it's working out, whether it's learning language, whether it's boxing, whatever the case might be, you need consistency here, the wholesome type of consistency. And when it comes to distraction or even addiction, that's where you need to be moderate. That's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you very soon.